We've all heard that in life, you must take risk if you want reward, right? What I'd like to tell you about is a time when I did take a big risk, but it paid off big as well. Many of you have actually heard part of this speech, at least. I have given it before. I'm trying to remember back at what I said. So what I'm going to tell you about is a trip that we did about 3-4 years ago, around this same time of the year. It was in February. I had just decided that I was going to propose to my girlfriend at the time. Normally we celebrate Valentine's Day a week after. You want to avoid all the crowds, the overflip, the prices, all of that mess. So I decided that I was going to propose to her that week after, wasn't going to tell her about it. So I planned this trip. We're going to go up to Idlewild, which is up in the mountains near San Jacinto. Beautiful, beautiful town.
Nice.
I called way in advance to ask about the conditions. I knew a storm was on its way or may have just hit. So I called the place where we were staying at. I asked, how are the conditions? Am I going to need chains? What's for the tires? What am I going to need? She's like, no, you're all right. You're fine. So, okay, that's great. So I decided to use a different vehicle, which didn't have chains. We drove up there a late Friday night. A little bit of snow was coming down. No big deal. We'll make it all the way there. When we got there, she was right. We didn't need them. We went to sleep that night. The next morning, I was in the restroom. I lifted open the shades, and my eyes got huge. It was a winter wonderland with about 3 to 4 feet of fresh snow.
Wow.
Whoa. The owner of the hotel that I had called ahead and talked to in advance, she was not expecting the biggest storm since 1960 to roll.
Wow.
So there we were that morning trying to figure out what to do with 4 feet of snow. We can't really move the car. The car is buried, basically. We don't have shovels.
Wow.
And my plan that day is to drive down the mountain into Palm Springs, and we're going to take the tram all the way up to the top of San Jacinto, or close to the top, where there is a restaurant there, and that's where I was going to propose to her. So when my girlfriend was in the room, I went back to the same lady and I was asking her, like, hey, these are my plans. What can I do? I need to get down this mountain so I can do this. She's like, there's no way. You're not going to be able to do it. If you go down now, they're going to close the roads down. You won't be able to come back up. Oh man, what am I doing with this? I already have the reservations. Everything's planned out. It's in my head. I have to get this thing done.
Yeah.
So I talked to a few other people. They were telling me the same things. We're going to shut the roads down. There's just so much snow. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Block it out. So I went around town looking to see who had chains for my vehicle. Finally, I found them. I paid a premium for those chains. And I decided that we're going. We are heading down this mountain. So it was around 4 o'clock. We jumped in the car and went down the mountain, went on the tram all the way to the top of San Jacinto. It was absolutely just gorgeous up there. You get to the top and you see all the lights of Palm Springs down below. And that's all desert. And then up top where you're at, it's just another winter wonderland. And we sat in the restaurant, had a fabulous meal. So I had to figure out how I was going to, I wanted to get the proposal on film. So my girlfriend went to the restroom, actually, and at that time I had called the waitress over. I said, hey, this is what's going on. Can you film this? And sure enough, she agreed. So, okay, great. So I found a nice little place in the restaurant. It was actually like a little scene with, like an outdoor scene. It had mountain goats and trees and whatnot, but it was in the restaurant. Like, I'll just do it right there. So then my girlfriend came back, we went over to the scene. And I'm trying to get serious so I can pop the question. all she can do is sit and laugh at the goats. She was going to, there was certain parts of the goat which were abnormally large hanging, and she just laughed like a storm. I'm trying to film it. The waitress has the camera trying to film everything. So finally, I calmed her down and got to, she's like, what are you doing? She was freaked out. And at that time, of course, it took her a while because she was so stirred up and just shocked. She finally said yes, and then all of the people from the kitchen came out and they were just celebrating, and it was a great scene.
That's so cool.
Now it's time to get back up to our lodge. What's it going to be? I have no idea what's going to happen. So we set back up on the road and we're heading up there, getting closer and closer to the snow. Finally, we're in it. Doing pretty well. Don't have the chains, no road closed signs, anything like that. A couple of minutes into it, now we're getting to some windy sections, and there was a part we hit this black ice and we did a complete 180 sliding on the road. Girlfriend had a heart attack. She's just died. I was sitting there having a good time. Well, I corrected myself, got back on the road, and it was clear. Coast was clear. The road was open the entire way. I think back now on the decision that I made. At the time, was it the wisest decision? Yeah, it might not have been. What if the road was closed? We would have lived. We would have went back down, maybe found a different hotel just for the night until the roads were clear. Or tried to put on the chains. Would have thought of something. We wouldn't have died. So I come back to what I said in the opening. Sometimes in life, you have to take risks to get that reward.
I'll take that. The proposal. Sean, I have come to expect great things when you get up and speak. You present us with pictures that leave us in a state of pure enjoyment. You go out and do all the trial and error, and I get to enjoy it. You were appropriately dressed. It looked like you were going to be on the outdoors. The pace was excellent, nice, easy to follow. We had fun with your speech. Actually, when you said the proposal, I thought you were talking about a business proposal. It took me a while to figure out which proposal you were referring to. That's all right, I'm a little slow at times. Excellent eye contact with people in the room. Good use of humor. I liked your, I don't want to hear it. I can relate to that. There are times when I just don't want to hear it. Proposal to your girlfriend, how sweet, how wonderful. And it all worked out. There are a couple areas that I would recommend that you change. You made a reference to what you had given part of the speech in a previous speech. It's not part of the speech. You just leave it out. You don't have to explain yourself. That's one thing we do with Toastmasters sometimes is we have to explain ourselves. We don't have to explain ourselves. You just get up and you just do it. You had wonderful gestures. Your eyes got big as saucers, and we could really relate with that. You painted, like I said, great pictures. Wonderful story. Gave us good points about taking risks, and it's so true. Each and every one of us, we have to take risks. A child learning to walk stands up, falls down, stands up, falls down until they get it right. I found some fillers, but surprisingly, not that many. I suppose you'll get that from the odd counter. But I'll tell you, I found 8 so's, 9 so's, and 4 ends. But considering that she spoke over 5 to 7 minutes, I thought that was excellent. Extremely well done. Great speech. Fun, enjoyable, and I look forward to the next one.